Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice radio, so today I am bringing you a look at a deck which a lot of people think might be a cheeky good choice for Worlds. I'm talking about Mega Scizor. I've seen this deck be bandied around, several people have asked me for a video about it, and whether it's going to be good at Worlds, and I thought, you know what? Sounds interesting, let's go for it. And just another quick reminder, I know I uploaded my second VGC video today. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, TCG videos are going nowhere. I'm obsessed by the Pokemon TCG. I ain't stopping these videos, we good. Now, Mega Scizor, the reason a lot of people like it is because it's metal type, which means it's hitting weakness against Gardevoir GX, which is a very hyped Pokemon. Coming into the World Championships, it does look incredibly good. Of course, you've also got to put up with that fire weakness, which is a slight problem, given that Volcanion and Turtonator are also looking like very good Pokemon for the World Championships. The resistance to Psychic is great because of Garbodor, as we're going to see in a minute, but one of the biggest questions with Mega Scizor right off the bat, is it any better than METAGROSS GX? Because they both metal Pokemon, they both give up 2 prizes, so it's got to be better than Mega METAGROSS in order to warrant seeing any real play. So starting off with the regular Scizor, 170 HP, and the main attack here, Gale Thrust, 50 damage, but 110 if it became active this turn. Now, that's not actually enough to one-hit KO a Mega Gardevoir, but as we're going to see in a moment, you can always play something like a single Dalmise, and then you will get the one-hit KO. Not bad at all. 170 HP, as we're going to see, is a bit too low, even against something like Mega Gardevoir. So really here, we want to be looking at the Mega. This is the headline Pokemon in this deck. You go up to 220 HP, which is great, and you get the attack Iron Crusher. 2 metal energy, 120 damage, and you may, but you don't have to, discard a special energy on your opponent's active or a stadium in play. Now this could be kind of cool. Some people are hyping Mega Rayquaza as a deck to look at the World Championships, so getting rid of their Skyfield could be fun. If you find yourself facing off against a Dramper, you can get rid of their double colourless energy. It's a fun little thing that will work in matchups, and they are varied, so really a good thing to be looking at. And of course, 120 damage, doubled is 240, which means Mega Gardevoir will be going down in one hit to a 2 energy Pokemon. So, what other cards do we really need to be thinking about if we're going to be playing Mega Scizor? Well, we're losing it after rotation, but in the Worlds format, which is literally from the weekend of Worlds to the 1st of September, you've got Mega Turbo. Allows you to attach a metal energy from your discard to Mega Scizor, and you really need 2 energy on Mega Scizor, or you can't attack, and you really need to be cheating a little bit here. So you can either use Mega Turbo, or you can use Max Elixir. Attach the energy to your regular Scizor before you Mega Evolve. And of course, being a Mega Pokemon means you will need to use Spirit Link, otherwise you end your turn when you Mega Evolve, which is very, very bad. And one of the things that people haven't really been talking about much is how Mega Pokemon lose Choice Band. Choice Band is great, but with a Mega Pokemon, you don't get to use Choice Band because you've got to be using the Spirit Link. Although, as a side note here, an awful lot of people are playing Field Blower, and sometimes they use it just to get it out of their hand, etc. So sometimes you can actually get your opponent using Field Blower on your Spirit Link, which means you can then attach a Choice Band afterwards. Yay! Although if you pull off that trick once or twice, your opponent will make sure you don't again. And that really is essentially it. You just want to get a Mega Scizor with 2 energy and be smashing. Now there are a bunch of other options you can use here. You can go a little bit of disruption. Something that Scizor players used to do against Volcanion is play a combination of Red Card and Silent Lab. The theory here is, especially if you go first, your opponent starts with a 4-card hand. There's Silent Lab down, so they can't play something like Tapu Lele or Shaman to help get set up. And of course, Volcanion can't use their ability. And they're less likely to draw into a stadium because they've only got 4 cards in hand. Could work. And to be fair, in this deck at the moment, you have got space for other stuff. You're playing Scizor, Mega Scizor, couple of Spirit Links, few energy, and maybe some Mega Turbo or Max Elixir. You're not playing a huge amount of cards in your core strategy. As a side note, you are playing a Mega, not a Stage 1, so the evolutions won't work. I'd love to be playing Vaporeon in this deck, but it's not going to work, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Downmise is a good option. It allows you to do an extra 10 damage, and if against things like Greninja, for instance, you're hitting 120, Downmise means that you now hit 130 and get a one-hit KO. You don't need it for Garbodor, but you do need it for Greninja. Similarly, the non-Mega will not be getting a one-hit KO on Gardevoir GX. You'll be 10 damage short. In comes Downmise. You can use Reverse Valley here so that damage done to you is reduced by 10, gives you a little bit more survivability. Although, don't use Shield Energy. Between Enhanced Hammer and Drampa getting rid of special energy, it's just not good enough. Plus, of course, Shield Energy doesn't work with Mega Turbo or Max Elixir. Don't play it, ladies and gentlemen. It's not good. Now, you could even play Garbodor here. You're really not reliant on abilities, so you can play Garbodor to shut off abilities. And there's plenty of Pokemon in the format at the moment that really rely on them. Volcanion, although they will be getting a one-hit KO anyway. Gardevoir, Metagross, Decidueye. Now, if you really need Downmise to hit the numbers in a particular matchup, that's fine. But otherwise, you're cool. Go for it. Life is good. And you could even use Zoroark here to do a little bit of switching. Because, of course, remember that the regular Scizor, you've got to get into the active so you're not doing pitiful damage. So you could play a small Zoroark, a thin Zoroark line, just to make sure you're always going active. Especially if you're against something like a Klefki and your opponent is blocking Megas. Although that's really not seeing play outside of Vespiquen at the moment. One other option you've got here, of course, is playing Max Potion. Now, I know you're playing 2 energy rather than 1, but you've got a fair bit of bulk to you, and you've got Max Elixir, you've got Mega Turbo. And the fun thing here is, if you play Max Elixir to get rid of an energy off the Mega, you can then immediately Mega Turbo it back, which is fun. And of course, Max Potion, it's just a generally good card. It is very much something to consider, and when Mega Scizor was seeing a bit of play, this was one of the cards people used. So on to the important questions. Number 1, does it beat Gardevoir? It should. It should smash Gardevoir. You get 2 energy on a Mega, you get a one-hit KO, or you get 2 energy on a regular, and with a Downmise, or a Choice Band, or a Kukui, you get a one-hit KO. And remember that with Max Elixir, you can do that in 1 turn. And if we look at Gardevoir trying to get a KO back, well, on the Mega, hitting for 210 isn't enough, so they need 8 energy, or 7 and a Choice Band, to hit for 240. You're going to have 2 energy on you, so they're going to need 6 energy on them, or 5 and a Choice Band, to get a KO here. That's really difficult. Now, the downside is with a regular Scizor, they're going to need to be hitting for 180, 6 energy. Now, with you having 2 energy on you, that means that Gardevoir will get the KO with a DCE Fairy Choice Band, and with the ability, they can get that in a single turn. So against Gardevoir GX, you really do need the Mega. But once you've got the Mega out, you're getting easy 1-hit KOs, and they're getting 2-hit KOs. And that's just not going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. And with 1 energy, no Choice Band, they're not even getting a 2-hit KO. It should be very, very much in your favour. Looking at some of the other matchups, you've got a resistance to Psychic and 220 HP. Garbodor's going to need 12 items to KO, while you're getting easy 1-hit KOs. You should be doing very well against Garbodor. The high HP means that Decidueye is going to take a while to take you down, and it's not even like devolving you with Espeon's going to do much good, because you've still got good HP with the non-Mega. You could, against Alolan Ninetales, play Cobalion, because you'll smash Ninetales GX. Now, the Alolan Ninetales non-GX is a bit of an issue because it blocks your EX and your Mega, but if you play Cobalion, once they've taken a single prize, you'll be getting a one-hit KO, and you can use Max Elixir to get it going in a single turn. Against something like Greninja's a little bit more awkward, but you should take a couple prize lead here, and then you can either use Dalmise to get a one-hit KO on Greninja, and to be honest, you can even play multiple Dalmise here, and you will, even with a Kukui, get a one-hit KO on the break. It's going to take 3 Dalmise and a Kukui, but it's possible. Or you could even just play Garbodor to be turning off their abilities, and then it should be pretty favourable. Of course, Volcanion Turtonator is a terrible, terrible matchup, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to hurt. Similarly, anything that techs in the Ancient Origins Flareon, like Vespiquen for instance, or even a Garbodor that does it, is going to have a very good time against you. Unless you're playing Garbodor to turn it off. But the really big question here, the question with which we started the video, and with which it is only fair to end the video, is it actually better than Mega Metagross? Well, it's more vulnerable to N. If you add a Metagross in the late game, it's just using its abilities, it doesn't really care. But it's less investment in the early game. It's less vulnerable to Ability Lock, and Ability Lock can really hurt Metagross. But a huge downside here. 120 damage in a situation where you're probably not using Choice Band is so much worse than 150 damage in a situation where you can use Choice Band. So you're up against a Drampa, Choice Band, Metagross gets an easy one-hit KO, Scizor doesn't. Up against a Greninja break, you play a Kukui, you get a one-hit KO, or indeed 2 Dalmise, you get a one-hit KO. Much less easy for Mega Scizor. Against Darkrai, Metagross can get an easy one-hit KO with a Choice Band, although to be fair, Scizor could always play Marshadow to take out Darkrai. So, this is essentially where it is. As a pure counter for Gardevoir, Scizor is better than Metagross. It's faster, it takes less investment, it's not vulnerable to Ability Lock, it's a better Gardevoir counter. Overall, I think Metagross probably has slightly better matchups, but it is slower, it's a Stage 2 deck, and it is vulnerable to Ability Lock. I leave it in your capable hands. Now, tell me what you think about Mega Scizor in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWossy, and Twitch at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, you can do so at patreon.com/PTCGRadio. There's bonus pods, go get them. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.